What's going on, Titans fans? Mitchell Rance from Chat Sports, and I just want to tell you this. Before we get into some news and rumors, I've done a lot of shows at Chat Sports. This is going to be one of the most entertaining ones I've done. We're going to be talking about Julio Jones, Mike Vrabel, the Titans. They hired a brand new linebacking coach, but the biggest story in today's show is around Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I did not stutter. Rodgers to the Tennessee Titans is the latest rumor circulating right now because there's a report that Rodgers has bought land and a building plus a house near Nashville. Apparently, he is also open to playing for the Titans. Now, could the Tennessee Titans go out and potentially go all in and acquire the potential back-to-back NFL MVP? No disrespect to Ryan Tannehill. He's been an amazing story and has helped out that football franchise. But if you have a chance to get Rodgers, I'm not kidding you, Rodgers, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, that might be the favorite in the AFC. And that's saying a lot considering the fact of how many amazing quarterbacks there are in that division. Now, here's what Jared Stillman had to say on Twitter. Source, Aaron Rodgers has purchased land and is in the process of building a home in the Nashville suburb of Franklin Williamson Co. Also, source says Rodgers is open to joining the Titans. Another source says that the current Packers teammates do not expect Rodgers back in Green Bay. So here's my question. What is the percent chance that the Titans go out and get Aaron Rodgers? So 0% chance. You don't think it's going to happen. 100 being you think it's an absolute locked and loaded. I will always say when I ask percentage questions, usually people go a little bit too high. The number I'm going to throw out there is like a 10% chance of it happening. But if you're a Titans fan, you should keep your hopes high. Because at the end of the day, if I was Rodgers and I wanted to leave Green Bay, right, I think that that's an easy division to win. I also think right now, if Rodgers would go to the AFC South, that would be an even easier division to win. Carson Wentz showed us he can't get it done when it matters the most. The Houston Texans are the biggest joke of a franchise there is. And then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, another big-time joke. If you're telling me right now I can get a guy like Rodgers, 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, the 2020 MVP, has a chance to be the NFL MVP this season, coming off a year where, I mean, they got bounced in not essentially the first round, but their first game up against the 49ers, and I get it. You just gave Ryan Tannehill some money, and there's going to be a lot of people out there that want to give Tannehill his flowers. And in 2020, he had a good story. He was a good quarterback. This season, he definitely took a major step back. So here's my question. Would you trade for Aaron Rodgers if you found out that all these sources are true? Rodgers has a home in Nashville. He is open to playing for the Tennessee Titans. I want you to go down, type Y for yes, type N for no. If you're a Titans fan and you answer no, I really want you to go ahead and go to the doctor to make sure you're okay, because every single one of y'all should be typing Y for yes. Guys, it's Aaron Rodgers. We have more news and rumors to cover here on Titans Today. USA Today explored an idea of cutting Julio Jones. And this is definitely another part of what we like to do here at Chat Sports. Not only give you guys, breaking news, we also like to be able to talk about rumors, but also my job as a host here is to go out, find other stories, like one from USA Today, where they talk about moving on from Julio, who has $14.3 million cap hit in 2020. If you do this, 2022, excuse me, pre-June 1st, it would save 1.11. If it's a post-June 1st cut, you save 9.51. So for math reasons, if you're going to move on from Julio, it's more than likely going to be after June 1st. Now, I get it. He didn't have maybe as good of a year as a lot of people were hoping for. In 10 games this season, he was targeted 48 times, 31 catches, 434 yards, and a touchdown. I remember Julio Jones being this amazing receiver. I would have put on a board and said he's a top 5 receiver when fully healthy. But Father Time is undefeated, and it's starting to see like he's slowly starting to beat Julio Jones. So what do you do with Julio? Do you type C for cut him, type K for keep him? Unfortunately, I don't know if there's many teams out there that would trade for him before June 1st. Even if they were to trade for him after, taking on $14.3 million for Jones is probably not the route I would go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say K for keep, because the Titans are a team that at the end of the day, they're probably the favorite in their division. If you go out and get Aaron Rodgers, then you're definitely typing that K for keep. And sure, he didn't live up to expectations, but sometimes you see a receiver the first year coming into a team, they have their ups, they have their downs, which is to be expected. Hopefully, Julio can get a lot more healthy, and hopefully he's ready to go at the end of the season when you need him the most. Play calling absolutely should get some blame in terms of targeting him in the red zone. For whatever reason, Julio's never been a receiver that has gotten targeted in the red zone. I also think that Ryan Tannehill showed his flaws at times with this. And then overall as a team, Tennessee wants to run the football. Julio, not so much of a pass blocking receiver. A.J. Brown, who's the number one on this team, he's absolutely more of a pass blocker. But the Titans had tons, and I mean tons of injuries. I'm going to rely on Julio. I know he's a very talented player from top to bottom, but if the Titans do decide to move on from Julio, guess what? We're going to be making a video about it. To make sure you guys never miss any videos here on Titans Today, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and we have a simple algorithm here at Chat Sports. The more subs a channel gets, the more videos we are allowed to create. It's literally as simple as that. So if you are a loyal watcher, take the link that you see below, start sending us some Titans fans because we would definitely appreciate it. Let's go to the next story here on today's show. It's around head coach Mike Vrabel, and could he potentially be getting a contract extension? General manager John Robinson says the Titans are working on an extension for Vrabel, who won Coach of the Year in 2021. He's had 11-plus wins in back-to-back seasons, which is the first time in Titans history since 2002 and 2003. I'll be one of the very first people that when he was hired as head coach for Tennessee, I was a little bit cautious about it. Why? When you look at a lot of the other coaches that have been underneath Bill Belichick at one point or have been a Patriot guy, when they've gone elsewhere, they've struggled. Though Vrabel has been a very solid head coach, bringing that tough mantra to Tennessee, which has fit in great. Here's what Robinson had to say on a potential Vrabel extension. Yeah, we're working through some things on that, and that's called business, I have the utmost confidence in Mike and all the coaches being in there. We love Mike being there. I no doubt, with all that figured out. John, I don't know, man. That was one of the most difficult quotes I've ever had to read. Maybe we got to get you some prompters going on here at Chat Sports. But what do y'all think here? Where does Mike Vrabel rank among NFL head coaches? Is he top 5? Is he top 10? Do you guys think he's the best coach in the NFL? I mean, when you win Coach of the Year, that means you were the best head coach in the National Football League. When you look throughout Vrabel's career, his first season in 2018, 9-7, didn't make the playoffs. In 2019, 9-7, 2-1 in the playoffs. 2020, 11-5, 0-1. 2021, 12-5, 0-1. So thus far, a 41-24 career record, very impressive. But for you to be considered a top 5 coach, you would have to have a little bit more success in the playoffs, 2-3 record. However, he's done a lot with that organization, considering the fact of the whole quarterback experiment and getting Ryan Tannehill where he is today. Now, again, if y'all want free Titans videos, then subscribe. I don't care if you watch on your way to work. I don't care if you watch on your way to school. I don't care if you're sitting down right now, getting ready to flush. All I know is this. We got free Titans videos, and I want you guys to continue to watch them. We do have more Titans news here. They've gone out and hired a linebacking coach, Bobby King. And I know there was a lot of people wondering who Vrabel was going to go out and hire because himself, he was a linebacker, so he's going to obviously hold this position very high. Bobby King's career, in 2021, he was the defensive line coach for the Houston Texans. From 2017 to 2020, the linebacking coach down there in Houston. He's got a lot of linebacking coach experience, some with the Chargers, more with Houston. Got his start in 2011 as a defensive assistant. In terms of where some of the strongest suits for this Titans defense, it's absolutely at the linebacking position. Now, there's going to be a lot of people like, well, Harold Landry's a defensive end, Bud Dupree's an edge rusher, and you're not 100% wrong. This team definitely needs to get a little bit more out of its inside linebacking play. But when you're in a 3-4 defense, linebackers play a major, major role. And considering the fact that some of your studs are about to be free agents, I personally like this hire a lot.